Welcome back, you lovely people. In today's video, I want to build on the work we've been doing recently and talk about our road to recovery, how we head back to all-time highs and how we get to the cycle peak. But firstly, we'll quickly check in on Bitcoin's recovery today. By the way, I'm purposely zoomed out, so sorry if it's a little bit small, but that's for the work we're about to do. But we are up 0.5% at $38,500, and the most interesting movement today was into this resistance here at about 41,000, and we got rejected from that, and we're consolidating. This is really nice. We're consolidating above the breakout we had of our trend line, and we are calming ourselves and preparing for the next move. So certainly looks all well. Of course, we want to put the next move up to be sure that this breakout and to be sure that the recovery is in play. But as we stand today, things are looking okay. But let's talk about what might happen next, and let's build particularly on the base case that we've been talking about. And I'm coming back to our log chart over here so that we can do some work on this. And we'll start all the way back in 2013. And if you remember from a recent video, we talked about this pullback we had in 2013, and we're doing something slightly different to other YouTubers or analysts out there. We're discounting this big pump here and this big dump here, at least for our base case scenario. And why are we doing that? Well, we have noticed that if we were to take that out of the equation, which is why I have the purple box in there and why I've drawn the line, if we take that out of the equation, then this all-time high here, which it would have been if we came more gradually into there, would have resulted in a 38-day 52% correction. As we know, that looks very, very similar to what we've just put in. And in terms of timing in the cycle, it looks almost perfect. So that means that we can call this capitulation here the capitulation that we had in 2017 and 2021. As you know, our plan B is that we are currently in the middle of this sort of event here. I don't believe we are. I believe this is more of an anomaly, given how illiquid Bitcoin was at that time. So we're looking at this for our base case scenario. This was Bitcoin had crashed all the way down to $65 on the 5th of July 2013. And I'm particularly interested in what happened next so that we can use that for some clues. And what I'm doing as I'm looking at this pattern. So from off of the low, Bitcoin put in her first recovery. This went from 65 up to 105-ish. So approximately, and I'm being very approximate here, this is about halfway, a retracement of about 50% of the correction, maybe a little bit more. But a nice healthy retracement, which is what we hope we are doing at the moment. So that was move one off of the bottom. After that, we had a quick pullback, which happened over the course of a week or so. That was $105 down to $85. So, you know, that's a good approximately 20% over the course of a week. So that's a decent correction there. So that's phase two. And then from that point, what we did was put in the move to the all-time high. Now, why do I say all-time high? Obviously, this was the all-time high, but we're taking this out of the equation for this scenario. So if we were to head into $150, our previous all-time high for this hypothetical scenario was $135. So we took out the all-time high. We went all the way up to $150. And from $150, it got a bit choppy. See, we had this correction here, tried to recover, didn't really recover, and had this crash down here, down to $110. So, you know, that's a good 40% correction. So that is phase four. And then from the bottom of this correction, we put in our moon mission. all the way from $110 up to, let's call it $1,250, and we're finishing there. And that lasted 147 days. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to our blow off top all-time high. That is what 2013 looks like. Now let's see if we can apply the same principles to 2017, see if we have some symmetry. 2017 is a bit clearer because we very simply have this pullback and capitulation. It took 34 days and it was about 40%. We know that, we've been tracking it very closely. So what happened off of the bottom? Well, we had our first move. This one was very sharp. So we went from just under $1,900 back up to $3,000 or so. And this is almost an all-time high, but not quite. And that's important. We didn't put in an all-time high. So that's move one. Move two, we had this quick pullback, which was from about $3,000 down to $2,500. So I believe that was about 15% or so. That's move two. And then from that point, we did take out the all-time high, and then we ran all the way up to $5,000. That's move three. And then we put in a 40% correction over a week or so, from $5,000 down to $3,000. And that is move four. And then from the bottom of this final crash, final pullback, we put in the moon mission up to and including the blow off top, but the all-time high, which as we know was about $19,000, and that took 152 days. So that's step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to apply that to this cycle and this recovery, and I have already drawn it in for ease so that I can get it fairly accurate, or at least a fairly accurate representation. So off of our bottom, this took 35 days, and let's just remind ourselves, 34 days in 2017 and 38 days in 2013. So a lot of symmetry there. It was 51% in 2013, 40% in 2017, and 54% is the one that we've just had. And then off of that bottom, we have our 5 moves. I just need to sort this chart out so we can see it. Here we go. Our 5 moves. We have the recovery, and we've put in maybe half of move 1 already. This isn't, of course, I can't say this is going to be perfect. I've got this in at $48,000. We know 2013 was about halfway or a bit more, so that would probably be about $48,000. And 2017 went close to the all-time high, so maybe that would be around $60,000. So we can use that as a range. But move 1, we have our retracement, but don't take out the all-time high. And then we have a 15 to 20% pullback. And then from there, we take out the all-time high and then some. And again, I have this in at 80,000. It may not be 80,000. We will make that a lot more definitive as we start making the all-time high based on what this action looks like, whether it more closely resembles 2013 or 2017. But from the all-time high, we then have 30, 40, maybe this time a 50% pullback. And that is setting us up for our blow off top, the moon mission. And I have put this in. So if we remind ourselves, in 2017, it was 152 days and 147 days in 2013. So I've put in 147 days to be conservative. Maybe it will be 5 days more than that. And 147 days from the low puts us at October the 13th, which I believe is the day we discussed before. Maybe it could go out to, let's say, October 20th. We can use that sort of range. And I have this heading up to about $296,000, which is our current target. Now let me zoom out so we can see all of that together and see whether it makes sense. Let's try get it all. Let me see. Can we get it all in one picture? But if I go to the 3-day view, we can do that. Okay, here we go. Now let me zoom in. We'll get there. And there we go. Looks a little something like that. And let me just remove these boxes for a second so that we can see those moves into the blow off top really, really clearly. I'll put these back on for our work later. Now, when we talk about a target of $296,000 by mid-October, some people think we're crazy. But if we have the perspective of what has happened in the past 2 cycles, and the fact that this cycle so far is very closely resembling a combination of 2013 and 2017, and we see it all in one chart, you can see that that potential direction of travel that I've just put in there, I've just designed, looks almost identical to 2013 and 2017. The exciting thing is we will know, this is about 4.5 months away now, or 147 days or less. So the market will certainly show us if we are right. And if we, the reason why I'm putting this in now is because if we start to follow a different path, then we will very, very quickly know that, and we can recalibrate and decide where we're going from here. But this is most certainly our base case, our plan A, and what we are hoping and expecting to play out. So thank you for listening and supporting. Please share these videos, and I will talk to you soon.